Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Lagos. And thanks for staying tuned here on Smooth 98.1 Smooth Breakfast here. I'm Ayo Myra Say, and it's time for Business Express 981. Joining me this morning, as usual, is Rotus.
Hey, good morning, Ayo. Good morning, everybody listening.
Good morning, Rotus. Good morning. I also have
Hi, good
Judy from
morning.
Afri Invest. Morning,
Yeah,
Judy.
good morning.
All right, good to have you here.
Yeah.
Now, if you'd like to join the conversation, it's quite simple. Send your messages into WhatsApp 0809 On Twitter, we're at Smooth981FM. Use the hashtag Business Express 981. And on YouTube, we're streaming live, so please use the live chat option there as well. Roses?
I'm waving at the camera. I'm waving. All right. Okay, so Monday's market activity, as I said, was a temporary reprieve because yesterday the market dipped again 0.21%. So it's still negative territory as far as the stock market is concerned. Well, interesting enough, let's this story I was just telling you just now, Judith, it's already stale because, and I'll explain why. So there were a couple headlines out, Judith, that MTN had now become Nigeria's most capitalized stock
Yes,
on
in
the
terms of
exchange.
market cap.
In terms of
Yeah,
market cap,
so it
right?
rotates between MTN and Dangsem
Right.
currently.
Dangsem being Dangote Cement,
Dangote
of course.
Cement, yes, Dangote Cement. But both of these companies, we've seen if you're judging by their half-year results, we've seen growth in MTN. MTN increased about 12%. Its revenue increased about 12% year on year, to about 566.9 billion naira. PAT also rose, as opposed to Dangsem, with a fall in revenue by about 3% to 467.7 billion. So these two companies will continue to have or garner interest from Nigerian investors.
Yeah.
So either one day one is leading, and the next day the other is leading.
And another thing, the exact good stuff, and then also the fact that the MSCI Frontier Markets Index, that's the Morgan Stanley Capital International Frontier Markets Index, which is an index that tracks frontier markets. So they included MTN, so I think that helped them. So on Monday, as of Mondays, I think, what was it now? MTN gained 2.7%, closed at 138 naira per share. Right. Right. So
we're just seeing
back and forth.
But when you look at the overall bearish sentiment in the market, you're seeing some of investors taking position and then trying to take out their profits as soon as they can. So it's not a reflection of the company as such.
Right.
It's just the general
sentiment of the market.
So
just for those that are curious though, so as of Monday, MTN had a market cap of 2.82 trillion naira. Dangote was at 2.8. But then yesterday, as you just said, things flipped around and MTN lost 4.4% and fell back to 132 naira per share from 138, bringing its market cap down to 2.699 trillion. Meanwhile, Dangote went up by 0.91%. So Dangote is at 2.82 trillion now. So back and forth we go. It's just one of those stock market nerdy things we like to check out. Okay, it's just one of the things. All right, look, who had a question yesterday? I think it was Modupe. Modupe sent in a question asking if, with the whole talk about FX restrictions on food, whether people could go to BDCs. I think Modupe was asking whether the Bureau de Change are the black market. I think that was Modupe's confusion. So no, the BDCs are an official outlet for the central bank.
Yes, and then what we're going to see is that these food importers would now start moving into the parallel markets instead. So that's not necessarily
true. Yes, and also we did get a message yesterday from Jumoke. Jumoke said that, well, she believed that all food manufacturers, all the importers already were benchmarking their prices to the parallel market. And that, I mean, she's correct to a point, because I was asking a couple of people, not all of them do that. There's still some that are able to access from the official window. So costs will go up, in inflation and stuff like that. All right, I asked this question to the horsemen yesterday, right? This is why I'm glad I put this out there. I was asking them, I was like, hey guys, we have the central bank saying that they want to restrict FX from the official window for milk. Then they want to do it also for food. Then we had the government querying Mr. Tunde Fowler, the FIRS head, about revenue, not meeting revenue targets. When last did that ever happen? So I was like, all this stuff being put together, what's going on? And I was like, something might be up. Now, Bloomberg now came out with this headline. This is after the show, so I don't know whether Bloomberg was asking the same questions that we're asking here, or they listened to the program. But the the headline is, it's 2015 all over again for Nigeria as pressure builds on the naira. So, Judith, it seems pretty clear that there's some pressure here, and the government is feeling it, and that's why all of a sudden all these things are happening.
Yes. So we've been seeing the story of a possible dairy ban going forward, but I don't really think that's an efficient or effective way to. That's what we should be focusing on. Long story short, what we should be seeing is more policies that should improve or make better make it easier for foreign investors to come in, or make it more attractive for foreign investors to come in. That's like the first or the most important thing. The dairy ban may not necessarily have a direct impact on inflation.
Right.
Yeah, but that's what we should be seeing
right now.
Instead of.
There's another thing though. There's another thing. What did they point out? They said that as of December, the federal government is looking at about 9.6 trillion naira, which is approximately 27 billion of government securities that have to be paid back. So you guys know we always talk about OMO auctions.
Yes. So it's over a period of time. It's not just like a one-time thing. Yeah. So every Thursday we have
those OMO auctions.
We have maturities.
Right. And
so that's what will be paid up.
That's what will be paid up. So
February.
And that's 27 billion is quite a lot of money. I see a message still, since we're talking about billions of dollars.
Yes.
From Dio.
So from Dio says, good morning, Rotus and the crew. Please, what's the news about an Irish firm seizing Nigeria federal government's 2 trillion naira asset?
Dio, that's a perfect question. Let's get into that. We have that another one. Yeah. Go ahead.
Let me take comments. So Sheni says, "What's up with our YouTube
the page? Okay, sorry. We'll take a look. We'll take a look.
Benga says, "We hope Buhari knows what they're playing with. This FX restriction on milk, food, can capacity be improved overnight? We'll wait and see."
Benga, the answer is no. Capacity cannot be improved overnight. It doesn't work like that.
It's a gradual process.
Okay, so
we'll take a break now whilst you digest those questions, and then we'll come back. You respond to them.
Yes, indeed.
All right then.
We've started this thing now where we're doing breaks in the middle of a show. That's what I saw. I'm going to say something. I'll say it in the middle of the show.
We're just guessing.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm so calling our sales department. Like, what are you guys? What's going on? 9 billion. Can you imagine that? Look at where we are. 9 billion is an issue. Huh.
Coming back shortly.
All right.
Mike's up. Yes, indeed, you're listening to Smooth 98.1 back for Business Express 91.
An ad break in the middle of a 15-minute show. Okay, all right, let's get back to what we're talking about. All right, so Dio, excellent question. Okay, so Judith, I think the company is P&ID,
Yes, Process and Industrial Development Limited. It's an Irish firm, and this is actually an old. This happened a while back.
Yeah.
So Nigeria defaulted in providing some, gas processing plants in Calabar. Yes, some years ago.
And we defaulted.
Yes.
We did not meet up to our agreement.
The Nigerian government was actually supposed to. So, they took up the case.
Although to be fair, wait, please, to be fair to our listeners, I know somebody will shout now. It was the Jonathan government, right? It was not the previous administration. We have to say that.
It was the previous administration.
Okay, not the Buhari administration, right?
So, they took up the case, and then the ruling was that we were supposed to pay $6.6 billion.
Yes.
Yes, in arbitration.
And we delayed.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And then we delayed as a result of a change in government.
Right.
So things had not yet been set up for the new government to just go ahead with the ruling. And then obviously from an external point of view, it would look like Nigeria wasn't necessarily doing all it could to sort out the issue.
Right.
So, we're now looking at
Tell them about the interest. You're 6 billion. How is it 9 million?
Exactly, that is like the interest accruing.
$3 billion in interest.
So we have the governor of CBN saying that what the next course of action or what can be done is to get a stay on execution or and to also appeal at every level at which they can.
Right.
If this fails, we don't know what the fallback plan is.
Right.
But at the end of the day, what we know is that we are going to have to pay. If we have to, or it would have to be over a period of time, because when you look at our reserves, we can't actually take that hit.
Can you imagine that $9 billion? I'm not rich, sorry, I'm not Dangote, but I want our listeners to think about this. 9 billion, just $9 billion is what is causing Nigeria and federal government to be in a panic, and the central bank government is saying, okay, we might have to talk to our lawyers and possibly get a stay of it. Now that shows you the precarious situation that our reserves are in. That 9 billion.
When you even think of
is able to shake the federal government.
Yes, exactly. 9 billion.
And when you think of the fact that what if we're not, we can't do this? What does it signal to investors if we can't even pay?
MFLA made the appeal to investors, and they say that retreats they had for ministers and their
they're telling you to calm down, then.
Boy, it's scary. Okay, look, by the way, my predecessor Tunji Andrews on Monday, he put out a tweet predicting another recession for Nigeria. Now, of course, he didn't give a date, because you know how this is like that. What's the name of that pastor? I can't remember his name, but that makes predictions and doesn't give dates. But he does seem to have. Look, if you look at what's happening in the U.S. with China. Germany had negative growth for their second quarter GDP. Argentina's value of this thing has dropped.
Just had fears of a possible recession.
The UK with the whole Brexit issue, right? It just looks like there's issues, and I don't know.
MJ has something to say with regards to the Irish story. Irish from story. She says GJ negotiated a reduction to $850 million and handed that over to PNB, who decided to squash that deal and take it back to the court, resulting in this. How true is that?
I haven't read that, so I haven't read. But that's interesting angle to this. I'll probably have to read up on that. But again, just to make it clear to everybody, this was under the Jonathan administration, and you see how one administration can saddle the next one with headache.
Because Shane is coming against. Please, let's not blame Jonathan for all the problems. The deal was signed under Yaradua, while Jonathan also negotiated. So confirming, previous MJ's comment, saying that there was an out-of-court settlement which the Buhari government defaulted on.
So from one administration to another.
Yes.
Anyway, still the point is that last it's $9 billion that's causing us to go into all this head panic. And I don't look, if the court does not, if we don't get the appeal, we now have to pay that money, right?
Yeah. There's supposed to even be a plan, and we've not even seen that. And it's a fallback plan.
Yeah. Folks, anyway, it's...
Quick comment here from Rainmaker. Rainmaker says, now that we've confirmed that our CBN is not independent and that politicians who have average next to no economic knowledge give insight and directive to the Apex Bank on policy direction, how about the federal government focus on its part on fiscal policy and the CBN give monetary policy support? It's like Trump giving a directive to the federals, to the Feds to slash rates. He can only give an opinion.
It's a good way to end the show. Rainmaker, we can only hope. Interesting times ahead. Everybody buy dollars or something, because I don't know. Judith, AfriInvest, thank you so much for joining us today. All right.
And of course, thanks, Rotus.
Thank you.
Is back on air.
Every day. I'll even do Saturdays and Sundays if you like. Let's work it out.
All right, Lagos is still here on Smooth Breakfast. At 7:30, we bring you Freshly Pressed 91. But before then, we have an important information to give you on real estate.
Thank you.